happy. So we can pretty much cancel the rest of the show. I've achieved my happy zone. It's really all downhill from here.
Hue in central Vietnam is someplace I've never been before. But it's still Vietnam. With all the things, the smells, the sounds, the details I love so much. First night in country, it's like sliding into a warm, deeply comforting, familiar bath. I've been all over Vietnam, a place I feel a special connection to. My first love, a place I remain besotted with, fascinated by.
So back in Vietnam, one of my favorite places on earth, and all of the things I need for happiness. Low plastic stool, check. Tiny little plastic table, check. Ooh, something delicious in a bowl, check.
In this case, a local specialty, com hen, clam rice. Sweet, meaty little local clams out of their shells, tossed with a wild swirl of mung beans, white rice, spicy green chilies, crunchy roasted peanuts, fried pork rind, and cilantro. And a similar variation with rice noodles.
Got fish sauce with chilies in it, and whoa, that'll just singe your eyebrows off. Throw some chilies in.
Hit with some hot clam broth, and you're on your way.
And a cold local beer. Buddha, my preferred brand whenever in Hue. Fellow travelers, this is what you want. This is what you need. This is the path to true happiness and wisdom.
Located on the north and south banks of the Perfume River in central Vietnam, mountains behind, sea ahead, an arrangement determined by criteria both military and spiritual. For 143 years, Hue was the seat of power for the Nguyen dynasty, which ruled the entire country until the late 1800s, when the French started taking power and land under their control. The French allowed the imperial throne to rule nominally the center of the country until the end of World War II in 1945. Hue has been celebrated for its dynastic architecture since the early 1800s. Vast palaces, pagodas, and tombs. A center as well for the intellectual, artistic, culinary, and religious life of the country.
Oh yeah, that's tempting. It's around here somewhere.
This is Dong Ba Market, and deep inside, somewhere in there, is what I want.
My way of thinking, in the hierarchy of delicious, slurpy stuff in a bowl, Bun Bo Hue is at the very top.
Nguyen Quy Duc is an author and journalist who spent much of his childhood in Hue.
If I'm gonna die, if I'm gonna go to prison, they give me the last meal, this will be it.
This will be it.
This will be it.
Let's do it, man.
Here, Kim Chow creates an elaborate broth of mixed bones scented with lemongrass, spice, and fermented shrimp paste. At the bottom, rice noodles garnished, nay heaped, with tender, slow-cooked beef shank, crab meat dumplings, pig's foot, and huiet, blood cake. Garnished with lime wedge, cilantro, green onions, chili sauce, shredded banana blossoms, and mung bean sprouts, it's a wonder of flavor and texture. The greatest soup in the world.
Look at that, man. That is just unbelievable. Blood cake?
Blood cake.
With the sauce.
Wow.
I want to see how much you put in there.
You gotta make it look really red in there. It has to be blood red.
And the broth is wonderful. People are put on earth for various purposes. I was put on earth to do this. These noodles right here.
When I was a kid, we used to tell each other, do not take a date to go out to eat this stuff, because you start sweating, your hair stick up.
Really? I would definitely bring a date for this, because if she doesn't like this, there's no hope of a relationship.
That's exactly.
You know, like if she said, oh, I don't know, there's like blood, there's icky stuff in there, that would be a relationship ender to me. I mean, I'm not kidding.
I mean, here you are having it in a market like this, but if she makes this in a place like New York or Paris, it would be real haute cuisine.
It just, I mean, this is as sophisticated and complex a bowl of food as any French restaurant. It really is just the top of the mountain. How long has she been here?
She started out when she was 12.
How long does that broth have to simmer to get good?
Em ơi, cái nồi này mình nấu bao nhiêu lâu thì mới ngon?
Không bằng tiếng thôi thôi.
It's an hour.
Wow, really? I would have guessed like 14 hours. Happy, nice burning feeling around my lips, flop sweat, check. Happy. So we can pretty much cancel the rest of the show. I've achieved my happy zone. It's really all downhill from here.
My oldest friend in Vietnam, Lin. Originally assigned to translate, to guide, to escort, and to report on me back in 2000 when I first came to this country.
Lin, how are you, brother?
My brother.
Good to see you.
His responsibilities to his employers have never been an impediment to our friendship. We meet at Zuyen An, where you pick your own seafood out of the tank and you cook it yourself.
You really do look exactly the same. You look good.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
You also the same. No trace of time on your face.
Dude, my hair is white. I have the pictures. I look completely different in 2000.
People told me that all the seafood here are from the lagoon over here, Tam Giang. Tam Giang Lagoon is one of the biggest one in Southeast Asia.
I'm going for some eel. Season with lemongrass, green chili, and pepper, drizzle with house special sauce, grill over charcoal, and dig in.
Wow, that's great. Dude, that's pretty spicy. Perfect with beer.
It stimulates more drinks.
Lobster from the South China Sea. Give it a nice haircut tableside, and it's perfect.
Sweet?
Sweet. Just like I remember back in Nha Trang.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm a sentimental guy, Len.
Sometimes at work, I try to be serious and I just think about work, but I don't know why. When I meet you, I just think about drinking and getting something good to eat. One more cheer.
One of the great joys of life is riding a scooter through Vietnam. To be part of this mysterious, thrilling, beautiful choreography. As you ride, you not only see but overhear 100 intimate moments in miniature. You smell wonderful unnamed things cooking, issuing from storefronts and food stalls, the sounds of beeping, laughing, announcements from speakers, the putt-putt and roar of 1,000,000 tiny engines. During the Lunar New Year, the Tet holidays, when usually there was a cessation of hostilities, more than 100 cities all over South Vietnam were attacked by the North Vietnamese and VC. Duc knows full well the horrors and heartbreak of that time. In his memoir, Where the Ashes Are, The Odyssey of an American Family, he captures the terror of a 9-year-old boy, the son of a high-ranking South Vietnamese civil servant, caught up in the nightmare of war.
Where were you in 1968?
I was at the place where it's now a hotel. My parents were staying there. We were staying there. It was surrounded during the night. We didn't even know. My father looked out the window, just thought it was South Vietnamese soldiers. Everybody was surprised. In those days, we thought of the war as something happening out in the battlefields, in the mountains, out in the countryside. And all of a sudden, you come here and there's the flag of the National Liberation Front. And to see that was a complete shock. So we stayed for a week in the basement, and the American soldiers came. By that time, they had marched my father away, the North Vietnamese soldiers. We didn't know where he was taken to, and we had no idea whether he was alive or not. My mother went out to the mass graves when they were discovered, and she saw the bodies in there, and she's like, I can't go there and look for him. You just assume these people are just never liberated spiritually, that they are stuck in that space. And when you ask me to be hopeful, I'm hopeful because it's a young country. It's a young population that's energetic, and that drives me, that gives me hope that makes me young, that makes me want to believe in this country.
Boy Tran is a painter and something of a throwback, an anomaly, a creature from another earlier time in the life of the one-time Imperial city. She lives in an area called Tien An Hill, in a magnificently restored compound. These traditional wooden houses were once part of the regal style, with sloped roofs to handle the rainy Hui weather. But most importantly, they feature a garden at the center, which follows the Eastern philosophy that all things originate from a single source and expand in all directions. She also cooks magnificently from a repertoire of Imperial Hui-era dishes numbering over 100. Back in dynastic times, the emperors demanded variety, in wives, of whom they would sometimes have over 100, and in food. The menus of the 19th century imperial palaces boasted new dishes every night, small, flavorful, and beautifully presented. And that culinary tradition, which gave Hui its reputation as a food capital, continues today.
How much of that persists, those imperial roots, that need for variety?
Dạ con, dạ mãi mãi, dạ con.
Yes, the tradition has stayed, and it will stay forever here to cook all these different things all the time.
We start with bird's nest soup, a delicacy to which I am usually immune. This one is unusually flavorful. These are swallows' nests from high up on cliffs near Nha Trang. They're soaked in water, cooked in chicken stock, and served with crab meat. Lotus seeds, a symbol of purity, nobility, and patience, from a nearby lake, steamed. Crab roe is mixed with red onion, pepper, and seasoning and added to the soup, and simmered.
Cái đặc biệt của Huế á, riêng Huế thì Trân thấy là họ rất ít gia vị. Vì những cái thực phẩm nó tươi ngon và rất ít, giống như nhà Trân là nấu ít gia vị lắm.
The symbolic and health aspects of many of these dishes not to be overlooked.
This is fantastic. Lovely. How does Hui differ from the rest of Vietnam?
A wonderful architecture and very quiet people. If you stay some time in Hue, after some days you feel quiet. You take your time.
Yes, ở Huế thì đồ ăn nó phong phú hơn vì cái sông mình nằm gần biển và những cái con cá mà nó sống giữa hai cái dòng nước. Chắc anh biết ở cầu Hai nước ngọt, mấy cái chỗ đó là con cá nó rất ngon. Rất là nhiều cá ngon sống giữa hai dòng nước, cho nên ở Huế thì nó phong phú hơn.
Goi Hui is a traditional dish that's seldom made these days because of its complexity and the time needed to do it right. A fish stock is made from kabang, a fish from the Perfume River. Pineapples, onion, chilies, shallots, and coriander. A salad of quickly cooked prawns, rice noodles, ginger, red chili, garlic, and galangal. Layer of rice noodle, banana flour, then the prawns, garnishes. The strained fish stock is brought to the table with the salad in separate bowls and combined just before eating. Much of Vietnamese cooking abides by principles of yin and yang, heat and cold. This one, a lobster dish with 5 spices, balances the coldness of the lobster with the heat of the spices. Red onion, ginger, lemongrass, and chilies are added to the boiling water to cook the lobster. Once the lobster's cooked, it's presented in a bowl of lime leaves, and the stock is poured over it.
Whoa, that's beautiful. We're getting into this with our hands, I'm guessing. I like this. It's beautiful.
In 1965, the United States initiated a sustained bombing campaign called Rolling Thunder, hoping to destroy an elusive enemy in villages like this one. Vinh Moc, which was less than 20 miles from forward U.S. Marine fire bases just south of the DMZ. This is where Tan was born. As the target of frequent bombings, the village of Vinh Moc moved underground, up to 100 feet down into darkness.
Sau khi Mà đây sinh thì mình nằm ở dưới đây là 6 năm.
The villagers carved over 5,000 feet of tunnels out of the earth, creating a complex that would house all 90 families of Vinh Moc. 13 entrances and exits leading from the inland to the beach. Showing me through the labyrinth is Kom Tak.
And careful.
Born in Hue during wartime, she's since moved to the DMZ to work as a guide.
How did they dispose of all of this earth and rock without revealing the tunnels?
The craters, craters were everywhere on the like that landscape on the moon.
Right.
And the dirt that the craters are so fresh, look new. So they need to hide that, just leave them there.
How long did it take to build?
20 months digging.
20 months of digging
hand.
by hand.
With shovels and holes, it walk up. The farmer, they dug with their tool
Right.
under the bombing.
While the bombing is going on, they're down here digging this out.
Không sợ, đây là không sợ vì đó là mình chỗ đất chúng mà tiếng nổ ăn không khánh đó vì cái sợ sập miệng là trong này đang sập.
What was that like after living in darkness for so long? What was it like to come out and be able to spend the rest of his life in the sun?
Hồi nữa đi ra ngoài và trở lại với cuộc sống bình thường anh thấy đó. Tại vì sinh ra trong người đảo và ra ngoài trời đi.
Lúc mà mẹ mà vì cán bộ là họ cho dời lên đất liền là lên sau đất liền thì sáng sủa quá mừng như nữa. Làm lại nhà cửa, đi cắt trấn cột trái kèo nữa làm lại nhà. Đó mới đi biển theo bộ đi biển đấy chứ.
Thank you. Wow, ready.
Cảm ơn. Thank you.
Looks kind of like a mackerel.
Đó bóc khăn lên hành để ăn đó.
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Last question. Hypothetical. If the French or the Japanese or the Americans suddenly decided they want to, for some reason, come back, would he fight?
Cái đấy mà họ đụng chạm họ gây mình thì là tất nhiên mình phải mà bởi vì con người mình là một, đất nước mình là hai nhé, mà họ đến tham quan hay du lịch thì vô tư vui vẻ thôi có gì đâu.
Oh,
That's different. They're all welcome if they're tourists.
I'm meeting up with Lan for what she's promised will be a very tasty afternoon snack. Quan Bon Ole is set back from a quiet lane in the outskirts of town. It's a neighborhood place specializing in this. Bun Bo Hue, little pancake-like things made of rice flour, steamed in molds, and topped with crispy fried shallots and cassava paste and crumbled fried shrimp.
so show me how you eat this. What do we...
I had this when I was a little girl. So you try to beat it up like this.
Right, I got it. Just cut around the edge here.
I feel so clumsy. It's been a while.
Fold it over.
No, it's just
Oh, it just... That's great.
Oh yeah, there's Bon Bot Loc made of cassava or tapioca with pork and more shrimp from the lagoon, wrapped like a tamale in banana leaf, then steamed.
so even open the thing is also an art. In Vietnam, we still learn how to wrap the thing, and you learn how to unwrap the thing. So unwrap the thing is also an art.
Right.
Thing that you
Oh, really? I'm watching you. Let's get this right.
You're doing it right.
Oh,
You're
I'm doing it
perfect.
right.
I think you're an expert. Maybe the life before you was born in Hue.
In a past life? Yes.
Yeah.
You call this type of eating an choi.
Enjoy is like for fun or playing.
Recreational eating.
Yeah.
So it's not a main meal, it's a snacking.
Yeah.
Banh Ram meat is a delicious marriage of fried and glutinous sticky rice dumplings. It starts with frying the paste in cooking oil. Then, unpeeled shrimp are stuffed into dough. Place the chewy part with the crunchy part and sprinkle with chopped fried shrimp.
Oh, wow. Oh, that looks awesome. What is underneath?
Rice base.
Rice. Oh, okay.
But on the top is steamed, and at the back is fried thing.
This is who came out of the ground, out of the jungle, the darkness, when it was all over. And this is what they did.